Be me, Maya, 28, been married to Derek for 2.5 years now, and I genuinely don't understand what happened to us. When we were dating, everything was perfect. We'd been together for 3 years before the wedding, and yeah, I put in effort back then. I dressed up, planned cute dates, surprised him with things he liked, but that was dating. That's what you do when you're still proving yourself, right? Once we got married, I figured we could just be ourselves. No more performing. I remember the first time things felt different. It was maybe 3 months after the wedding. We were in bed and Derek reached for me. I was exhausted from work, still thinking about this presentation I had to give Monday. I'm really tired, I told him. Maybe this weekend. Weekend came. I was recovering from the week, needed to decompress. He didn't bring it up again, so I figured he understood. That became our pattern. He'd initiate, I'd redirect. Let me finish this episode. I'm not in the mood. Can we just cuddle instead? And honestly, I didn't think it was a big deal. We were married. He wasn't going anywhere. Sex didn't have to be this constant thing anymore. I started getting comfortable. Like, actually comfortable. Before the wedding, I'd wake up early to do my hair, even on weekends, wear matching underwear, keep myself maintained. After, I'd walk around in his old college t-shirts with holes in them, period underwear, no bra. Hair in a greasy bun for 3 days straight. He bought me this nightgown for our first anniversary. Silk, expensive, actually really pretty. But I looked at it and just felt tired. This is so male gaze, I told him, and shoved it in my drawer. He looked hurt for a second, but whatever, I wasn't going to perform femininity just to appeal to his sexual fantasies. I'd gained weight too, 40 pounds, if I'm being honest. The wedding was stressful, then work got intense, and I just stopped caring about the gym, stopped caring about a lot of things. My clothes got tighter. I bought bigger sizes and told myself this was body acceptance. This was maturity. Derek never said anything, which I appreciated, but I also started noticing he wasn't complimenting me anymore. Before, he'd go on about how beautiful I looked. Now, nothing. And that pissed me off, honestly. Like, love me at my worst, or you don't deserve me at my best, right? I started helping him improve himself, though. His clothes were stuck in this college phase. Graphic tees, hoodies, wrinkled button-ups. You're 30, I told him one morning. You need to dress like an adult. Bought him a whole new wardrobe, made him donate the old stuff. His friends annoyed me too. All they did was play video games and talk about sports. Do you guys ever have deep conversations? I asked. After one hangout, he got quiet. Started seeing them less. Good. He needed to grow. The gaming bothered me. You're just escaping reality, I'd say when he'd boot up his PlayStation. He'd turn it off. Then he started going to the gym more, and I said, you know, exercise addiction is a real thing, right? He'd just nod and leave. But here's the thing. I was trying. I'd suggest date nights. We'd go to dinner, and I'd post these cute couple photos. Date night with my favorite person, with a picture of us at some restaurant. We looked happy. We were happy, I thought. Sure, I was on my phone during dinner, but I was engaging with him between checking notifications. And yeah, maybe I'd spend an hour editing the photos afterward while he just sat there, but that's just life now. Everyone does that. I needed connection before sex, though. That was important to me, so I'd talk to him about my day, really get into the details about my boss, my projects, this drama with my friend group. He'd listen. Just sit there and listen while I scrolled through Instagram, occasionally showing him memes. Are you even listening? I'd ask. Yeah, of course. And then I'd feel connected enough and I'd initiate, on my terms, when I wanted it. That's partnership, right? Except 6 months ago, something shifted. I was in bed one night, scrolling through photos from my friend Jess's engagement. Feeling kind of romantic, I guess. Reached over to Derek. Hey, you awake? He was facing the wall. Yeah, just tired. I pressed against him, put my hand on his chest. We haven't had sex in like 2 weeks. He shifted away slightly. I have that early meeting. Rain check? I pulled back, stared at the ceiling. He used to never turn me down. Never. That's when I started noticing other things. He began going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning instead of 7. When he got home, he'd shower immediately and go straight to his office to work. I'd see him for maybe 20 minutes at breakfast, and even that felt strained. I got my hair done. $280 for highlights and a cut. Posted a selfie with new hair and got tons of compliments. Derek saw me that evening while he was making dinner. Looks nice, he said, barely glancing up. I waited. Nothing else. Just nice? I asked. He looked at me properly. It's pretty. The color's good. Back to chopping vegetables. That was it. I used to get speeches about how beautiful I was. Sunday morning, I wanted to cuddle on the couch. Sat next to him. He was on his phone. I leaned into him. He shifted to get comfortable, but created space between us. I moved closer. 5 minutes later, he said he needed to meal prep and got up. That night, I texted my friends. Maya, Derek's being so distant lately. Barely touches me. Amanda, is he stressed at work? Maya, IDK, but I'm stressed too, and I still make an effort. Priya, guys go through phases. He's probably just in his head about something. I wanted to believe that. I gave him space. Didn't nag, didn't push. I was being the bigger person. Meanwhile, at a work happy hour, this guy Marcus from sales was actually paying attention to me. Laughing at my jokes, leaning in when I talked, touching my arm twice during one conversation. It felt good. Felt seen. When I got home, Derek was already in bed, facing the wall. Then Derek's sister, Claire, came over for dinner. She's been married 12 years, has 2 kids, the whole traditional setup. After we ate, Derek went to take a call, and I vented to her. Derek's been so withdrawn lately, I said. I don't know what's wrong with him. Claire set down her wine glass. Have you asked him why? He just says he's tired. No. I mean, have you asked what he needs from you? I felt defensive immediately. I do everything. I plan our date nights. I try to initiate. I'm here. Claire looked like she wanted to say more, but just nodded. Maybe try listening instead of planning? I dismissed it. Claire's from a different generation. She doesn't get modern marriage, but the distance kept growing. Derek started staying late at work. When I asked about his day, he'd give one-sentence answers. When I talked about mine, he'd listen with this blank expression, like he was somewhere else entirely. 2 weeks ago, my friends Amanda and Jess came over for brunch. Both of them looked amazing. Amanda had just done this fitness challenge and lost 15 pounds. Jess was training for a half marathon. Their husbands had come with them, and I watched those men touch their wives constantly. A hand on the small of the back, playing with their hair, casual kisses. Derek was in his office the whole time, said he had work to do. After they left, I stood in the kitchen looking at the leftover pastries I'd eaten, most of while they had fruit. Looked down at my stained shirt, Derek's old shirt, stretched over my stomach. Caught my reflection in the window. When did I stop trying? No, that wasn't fair. I was comfortable. There's a difference. That Friday, we tried to watch a movie. I picked a rom-com I'd seen before, was on my phone half the time showing him funny tweets. Finished my wine, felt good, decided to cuddle Scooted over, put my head on his shoulder. His whole body went rigid. I tried to nestle in. He adjusted his position, creating space. I sat up. Seriously. What? Still looking at the screen? You literally just pulled away from me. I was adjusting. My arm was falling asleep. Your arm was falling asleep in 30 seconds? He paused. The movie sighed. Maya, I'm just watching the movie. You've been pulling away for months. I haven't been pulling away. You literally recoil when I touch you. We haven't had sex in a month. You barely look at me anymore. He spoke carefully. We're both busy. It's been a stressful quarter. That's such a cop-out. Are you attracted to me or not? It's not that simple. It actually is that simple. Yes or no? Long pause. Too long. Can we not do this right now? He finally said, That's not an answer. I was standing now, arms crossed. He was still on the couch, eyes closed, rubbing his face like I was exhausting him. Is there someone else? I asked. No. Then what? Because I've been patient. I've given you space. I've tried to initiate and you're just not interested. He looked at me. Then, you've given me space? Maya, you haven't asked me one time what I actually need. Because you don't tell me. I'm not a mind reader. You don't want to know. Try me. Not tonight. Something in me snapped. No, we're doing this. I deserve to know why my husband doesn't want to touch me anymore. He went very still. You really want to do this? Yes. You're not going to like it. I don't like this, whatever this is. At least be honest with me. He stared at me for what felt like forever. I could see him deciding something. Then he took a breath. Okay. You want honesty? Yes. I'm not attracted to you anymore because you stopped being the person I married. The room tilted. What? You want specifics? Okay. When we were dating, you pursued me. You'd text first, plan dates, wear things you knew I liked. The week after the wedding, gone. All of it. I didn't have to perform anymore. Perform? Maya, you stopped trying. There's a difference. I gained some weight. So what? It's not about the weight. Then what? It's about what it represents. You stopped caring how I saw you. You walk around in my old shirts with holes in them. I bought you that nightgown. You called it male gaze and shoved it in a drawer. You used to surprise me in lingerie. Now I'm lucky if you're not in a sports bra from 3 days ago. So this is about my body? No, it's about effort, Iachinat. You treating me like I'm supposed to find you irresistible no matter what, while you put zero thought into being desirable. My face was hot. I've tried to initiate, he actually laughed, bitter. When you want it, on your schedule, after weeks of shutting me down, maybe this weekend. I'm too tired. I need to feel connected first, which meant I had to spend an hour listening to you talk about work while you scrolled Instagram. That's not fair. I needed emotional intimacy. You needed an audience. You know how many times this year you asked about my day and actually listened? I went quiet. 0, Maya. 0 times. But I can tell you every detail about your boss, your friend's drama, your mom's opinion on your hair, because I listened every time, for hours. This is ridiculous. How about the constant corrections? My clothes weren't good enough. My friends weren't deep enough. My hobbies were problematic. Gaming was escapism. Gym was obsessive. What exactly was I allowed to enjoy? I was trying to help you grow. Tyler's engagement party. You moved my hand off your knee because it was clingy. We'd been married 6 months. Then you didn't talk to me for 2 days because I had the audacity to be hurt. I didn't remember it that way, did I? Your birthday last year, I planned that whole weekend. Spa, nice dinner, hotel downtown. You spent dinner on your phone posting stories. We got to the room and you were too full and tired, but not too tired to edit photos for an hour. So I'm not allowed to use social media. You posted best husband ever, while I sat there watching you ignore me. My throat was tight. So you don't think I'm beautiful anymore? I think you don't think you're beautiful anymore, and you resent me for noticing. I was crying now. Couldn't help it. But he wasn't done. Here's the real truth, Derek said. I'm not attracted to you because you turned our marriage into a job where I'm constantly failing. You don't want a partner. You want a servant who's also supposed to worship you. When Amanda and Jess were here last week, I watched their husbands touch them. Casual, easy affection. You know why? Because those women try. They maintain themselves. They're pleasant to be around. Their husbands look happy. That hit different, because I'd noticed it too. Amanda had lost weight, looked incredible. Her husband couldn't keep his hands off her. Jess was training, glowing, and her fiancé looked at her like she hung the moon. And I'd sat there in Derek's old shirt, stretched over my stomach, eating pastries while they had fruit. You expect me to desire you while you've gained 40 pounds and stopped doing anything that made you attractive? Then you get mad that I'm not pursuing you, the same person who rejected me for 6 straight months. Derek, I've been checked out for 6 months. I go to the gym early so I don't have to eat breakfast with you. I stay late at work. I moved my gaming setup to my office. I flinch when you touch me because I don't want to pretend anymore. The words kept coming, and I couldn't process them fast enough. You wanted honesty tight? There it is. I'm not attracted to you because you're not attractive anymore. Not your body. Your personality, your entitlement, the way you treat me like I'm lucky you settled. I couldn't speak. Every word was true, and I hated it. I'm sleeping in the guest room, he said, and got up. Derek, wait. I'm done talking. He walked out. I sat there on the couch, his words echoing. Everything he said, I could see it. The nightgown, Tyler's engagement party, my phone at dinner, the way I'd stopped trying after the wedding, like crossing a finish line. But also, how dare he list my flaws like I was on trial? I'd been patient, I'd been understanding. And this is what I get? I felt anger rising underneath the shock. He could have said something earlier. He could have communicated instead of just shutting down. He could have fought for us, right? I went to bed alone, woke up alone. He'd already left for the gym. The next few days were awful. I wanted to talk. He didn't. I wanted to fight. He was done fighting. We were polite strangers sharing an apartment. I texted Amanda. Derek and I had a huge fight. He said some really hurtful things. Amanda. What happened? Maya. He basically said I've gained weight and stopped trying and that's why he's not attracted to me anymore. Amanda. Are you serious? What a jerk. Maya. Right? Like he's perfect? But I deleted that thread because it felt like lying. I started noticing things I hadn't before. Going through old photos from when we dated, there's this one of me in a sundress, smiling at his camera. I'd surprised him with a picnic that day. When was the last time I surprised him? I caught my reflection one morning. Hair unwashed, roots grown out, his old shirt stained, no bra. I looked tired, old. When did I stop caring? Found the nightgown in my drawer, tag still on, touched the silk. Something cracked in my chest. Friday night I showered, did my hair and makeup, put in a nice dress. Went to his office. Hey, want to get dinner? He looked surprised. Sure. Give me 10. At dinner, I tried, asked about his project, actually listened. He talked for maybe 3 minutes before going quiet. Safe silence. I realized he was protecting himself. I'm really trying, I said in the car ride home. I know. That night, I knocked on the guest room door. He was reading. Derek. He looked up, knew exactly what I was doing. No. Please let me show you. I said no. I stood there. The role reversal crushed me. I'd been on the other side of this exact scene dozens of times. I can't just forget 6 months of rejection because you're scared now, he said quietly. It's been 3 weeks. Derek asked if I wanted to try couples therapy. I said yes. He said okay, but his voice was flat, like he's already gone and just given me a consolation prize. I wear the nightgown sometimes now, alone, in the guest room while he's in our bed. It fits perfectly. He was right about that too. Claire called a few days ago. Derek told me you two were having trouble. I broke down. Told her everything he said. Maya? She said carefully. Were those things true? Silence. I've been married 12 years. You know what kills a marriage? Contempt. The eye rolls, the corrections, treating him like he's lucky you settled. I didn't mean to. Impact matters more than intent. I've been thinking about that a lot, about Amanda and Jess and their happy husbands, about Derek's face when I called his nightgown gift male gaze, about every time I said, maybe this weekend, and weekend never came, about the woman I was when we dated versus who I became after the wedding. I don't know when I stopped being a wife and started being a tenant who expected worship. Maybe it was gradual. Maybe the wedding felt like a finish line, and I didn't think I had to run anymore. Last night, I was scrolling through old texts, found one from our first year together. Can't wait to see you tonight, from me to him. I can't remember the last time I sent something like that. He's still in the guest room. We're polite, distant. I catch him looking at me sometimes with this sadness. Not anger, just loss, like he's mourning someone who's already dead. I want to say I've changed, that I get it now. But I haven't earned that. And he doesn't owe me forgiveness just because I'm suddenly scared of being alone. The truth is, I killed his desire the same way I'd react if someone spent 2 years criticizing everything I did, rejecting me when I reached out, and posting about how great I was while treating me like furniture. I did that. Me. But also, he could have said something earlier. He could have fought for us instead of just checking out. That's fair to think, right? I alternate between wanting to fix everything and wanting to defend myself. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm still thinking about what I deserve instead of what I destroyed. I've lost 8 pounds. Started going to the gym, doing my hair, wearing real clothes. Not for him. For me. At least, that's what I tell myself. Yesterday, I cooked his favourite meal, set the table, wore the nightgown under a robe. We ate in silence. After, I stood up to clear plates, and the robe shifted. He saw the silk, our eyes met. Maya, don't. I'm just wearing it. You bought it for me. 2 years too late, he went to the guest room. I sat at the table alone, in a $120 nightgown, and something in me shifted from sad to angry. You know what? Fine. I'm losing weight, I'm getting back in shape, I'm doing my hair and dressing well again. And maybe it started as trying to win him back, but now I'm realizing I could find someone who actually appreciates effort. Someone who doesn't keep a scorecard of every little thing I did wrong. Someone who doesn't shut down for 6 months instead of communicating like an adult. He wants to be done? Fine. Let him watch me glow up and find someone better. Our first therapy session is Thursday, but honestly, I'm not even sure I want to save this anymore. Maybe I made mistakes. Maybe I stopped trying. But he gave up without a fight, and I deserve someone who doesn't give up. The nightgown fits perfectly. Soon I'll make sure someone else will appreciate that.